kind of being on the insurance carrier side, and now with a network called Iron Peak, you hear about claims. So I was curious if any one claim stands out in your mind as a little bit unique or different, that you kind of had to address, and maybe um, either came away with a unique solution to helping with that claim, or like a lesson learned for some of our audience on like, here's something you got to pay attention to. So I don't know if anything comes to your mind off the top, but I thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, yeah, I think of the hardest claims I've had to deal with are typically fatalities. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
I can think of a total fire loss where a spouse was lost, and this happened just north of Seattle.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, it's always sad. But I think the thing that was kind of the redemption part of this is just that the insured was very flexible and just chose a another home that was on a dealer's lot. And I think
Hmm.
that by the time it was all said and done, the old home was removed, the new home was delivered in less than a week. And
Wow.
sometimes you hear some bad experience of claims, but I always think back to that the fact that I could have that person back in a home.
Oh.
Now they were flexible, and I think the thing is they worked with the adjuster in a really good way.
Hmm.
But to have that person back in a house, essentially within a week, that was really impressive.
That had to make you
Um,
feel great, Bob, because that
yeah,
person's going to have so much up in the air. The last thing they need is another thing, right? And so being able to
right.
go in and deliver and going, hey, we at least got you back into a place that you can operate from, that you can call home, that gives you a base. That's huge.
Well, especially if you have enough coverage, and that I think the thing that I'll point out is they had a great agent who had the right amount of coverage,
Hmm.
and obviously it's going to be tricky because inflation may spike, or there might be challenges of debris removal or additional living expenses, and all these things add up and add to the complexity of a claim. And so basically just the fact that there was enough coverage it just solves a lot of the problems, because most people after a claim simply say, I wish I would have had more coverage. And
Yeah.
invariably, maybe it's just part of being in the insurance business, but you always listen to, the news. And if there's a fire, you always hear,
Mhm.
and they did not have insurance. And sometimes people think, well, I paid off the mortgage. Why would I need home insurance? And, obviously
Yeah.
that's not true, because you really do need coverage, whether or not you have a mortgage to pay off or not.
That's
Just because
right.
your
It's an
lender
asset. You
requires
want
it,
to protect it.
you
Yeah.
want to protect an asset. And I think
Hmm.
that most people don't realize the importance of having a homeowner's policy, or for your business or whatever it is. There's so
Hmm.
much insurance that you need, and you have really no idea of the risk. And I think that's the thing, is just pointing out that, hey, here are the risk factors that you may not be thinking of. And oftentimes you're blind to your own risk, and that's why it's good to
Hmm.
have a third independent party say, have you thought of this, and to add more coverage, because invariably you're underinsured more times than not.
Yeah, that's a great point. Really making sure that insurance valuation is set up well. Um, and a lot of times there's extra things you have to take into consideration on the property risk.